located Baby Eagle.
Guess you, me, picked the wrong spot to vacation, eh?
You will receive our most sacred body. It begins now.
If I could just forget what happened that night. The pain. Even for a second. This time, it can be different. It has to.
What is up with it, guys? Paul from Timeless Productions here, and it is officially announced. Resident Evil 4 Remake is 100% announced. It comes out in a couple of months, aka beginning of next year, which is March 24th, 2023, but we'll see that later as soon as we start this up. Of course, you guys have already seen the trailer at the very beginning of the video when it was playing. I let it play before just so you guys can see it again if you haven't already, and we're gonna go ahead and break down the trailer as best as we possibly can. So of course, anyone that knows me knows Resident Evil 4 is the original, is absolutely my favorite game ever made in the entire universe. This game just absolutely is just #1, top tier, S rank, whatever the hell you want to say, is up there at the very top. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into Resident Evil 4 Remake and break it down. So, starting it up, of course, we see the release date. Like I said, March 24th, 2023. And of course, in Resident Evil fashion, as they've done previously with other Resident Evil games that they've announced, we do get the beginning. As you guys can see in the background, you can see part of the village, and you do have the big Resident Evil R to begin it, and eventually this does shift into the actual name of Resident Evil, and of course it's in the same exact kind of font as the newer remakes are, and 4 right there for Resident Evil 4 Remake. So going ahead and starting it, we do see Leon right there talking with the president. Of course, as we all know, Resident Evil 4 has to do with Leon getting the president's daughter back. I think this is a scene where he's telling Leon, hey look, she got taken, I need you to go ahead and save her. So boom, and then Capcom, of course, and you can see more of the village. It has like this blue tint to it, almost like with the original Resident Evil 4 you had the cover art where it was Leon and behind him everything was like blue, this kind of color. So I think they're kind of bringing that a little bit back and keeping that more ingrained into where Resident Evil is, because with Resident Evil 4, the original, you didn't have the blue that they really showed on that cover art or in that artwork at all, if any. So with this, they're kind of keeping that like, hey look, this time we're keeping this like blue kind of dark look to it. And in the very beginning, you can see a woman running. It kind of looks like Ashley. As you guys can tell, it has, you can't really see the blonde hair, it's more like grayish because of the moon. But if you look here at this jacket, it does look yellow or orange like Ashley's original top was. If you look down here, she has these big ass boots on like she had in the original Resident Evil 4, except this time she's not wearing the green skirt as she did. She's kind of wearing some jeans. But as you guys can see, she's kind of scared. She's running towards the village, and in this next shot you can see dead I don't know what they exactly are. It almost looks kind of demonic, if you would. It has like wings on it or antlers. It just absolutely brutally mutilated. Whatever did this, it could have been the Ganados. It could have been something else that she's running away from. We'll have to wait for the game to come out, of course, to see. And if we go a little bit further, we get our first glimpse of Leon going through, I guess, a section of the village. As you guys can see, he's going through the tree line towards something. You can't really see. It's really dark in this scene, so it's kind of hard to really take away what's here. It does show Ashley standing here, and here she kind of looks like she has black hair instead of blonde, which could have been a actual decision to show that, hey, look, Ashley's here, but this isn't 100% sure that this is an Ashley segment. So they kind of like throw you off to look more like Ada, as you guys can tell. Even her jacket here, you can kind of tell it's orange a little bit, but it looks more red. And she's, I guess you would say, entering the village. It looks like some stairs right around here, but you can see like the gate, and it looks like she's entering into a section of the village. Not 100% sure yet, of course. And of course, this may be the first Ganado house, like in the original Resident Evil 4. You can see Leon, he doesn't have a gun out. He's just walking towards this building. He kind of looks, you know, like, oh, I'm not sure exactly what's in here. You could see this huge machete right here. Of course, they're breaking some meat apart. And right down here looks almost like a bear trap. Now, if you guys remember, bear traps were all over the original Resident Evil 4, especially the village area. So having that bear trap there shows that they are bringing bear traps back, so it could be something you could step on. It could be used in a different way this time. Of course, again, not really sure. And of course he has his signature bomber jacket on, and here he is entering the house. And of course, right here we get a glimpse of the main part of the village, the first section of the village that you really see. You have, of course, the wheelbarrows, and you have a whole bunch of houses right over here. It kind of looks like, when you're staring at it from this angle, that in the original, this is where Leon would kind of come in from, and this is where the cop would be hanging over the fire. And this looks like the big giant tower, of course, where you go towards Luis. This right here looks more like how you enter the going towards the church, where you need the key. This looks like where Ada pops in separate ways in the original. Right here is the fabled house, of course, that you come running into, and Dr. Salvador spawns in. And you can see like the barn that was originally barred off in the original. You have the other houses here. You know, you probably have them standing on the roofs. I'm not 100% sure if they'll be doing that back again, especially if they have, you know, weapons throwing or anything like that. But I guess, you know, of course, as more comes out, we'll see even more. But like I said, this kind of looks like this is where Leon comes in. He hides behind the tree, uses his binoculars, and he sees them kind of just going to work, you know, doing normal villager kind of stuff. But yeah, that's our first image of that. You do have these skulls back. As you guys remember, you did have these signs that said "To Pueblo" inside of the village, and you did have these skulls hanging off of them. So that's nice to bring back. And it looks like a kind of like house. This may be part of the church, or it may be part of the house of the building that leads towards the church. Not sure again. And right here, I want to point out, it's Leon standing at the fire. So of course it almost looks right there like that's someone's boot. So he could be, you know, looking at the cop that's hanging up after he gets killed. So he's kind of like, oh wow, this is happening again kind of moment. You never really know. And of course, our first glimpse of Luis Serra, and he looks absolutely amazing right here. Like, he's this like nice jacket on. It's got kind of like the same symbols he had in the original Resident Evil 4, and just the way he's looking. And of course you do hear him talk in this one, and boom, the Red 9 is back. Luis's signature weapon that he'll be sporting throughout Resident Evil 4. And this almost looks like this is the cabin fight. Not 100% sure. It could be the castle, but it looks more so like the beginning of the cabin fight. And right here, you do have the guy standing over here by the, I guess, soup. It could be the first Ganado, of course, when Leon first enters and he shows him the picture of Ashley. Or it could be just a random Ganado standing inside of a house that you end up walking into. And we do see, this looks to be the first Ganado, of course, again, that you meet. He's standing here. It kind of looks like he's, I don't know if he's looking at Leon or if Leon had just entered into the house and he's like, hey, I'm trying to talk to you real fast. But you could just see, like, look at how amazing the Ganados are going to look in this game. He has this big beard. You could even see they kept the same kind of outfits from the original. You can see the white shirt, you know, where it's unbuttoned a little bit. He kind of looks like he's wearing more of a jacket as well, but it just looks absolutely amazing. Then we get our first glimpse of what I believe to be the castle. You have the symbols around. I guess this is the new Los Illuminados symbol. It kind of looks a little bit different from the original. And you do see a monk over here, I guess, praying by the fire or just sitting by the fire. He is a monk because he has his hood on. He has the robes, the black robes, as the regular grunt monks had in the original. Looks like almost like a door to the right and a hallway to the left. And now we see the monks even better. This time with their hoods down. You see they have the white pale face just like they did in the original. Bald headed, and it looks like there's at least 4 of them. One has the hood on. This one looks almost like the leader, like kind of like the ones that would just have their hood down and they would have the red going around their bald head. This guy on the left also has his hood up, and then there's one in the back right there that you can see with his hood also up. And then moving on to these images, you could see the Ganados a little bit more. The ones with their sleeves rolled up, and they almost kind of stand, in my opinion, like the Lycans from Village. Not sure if they're just reusing assets for this in order to get the Ganados this kind of like monsteristic kind of like standing or not, but it almost looks like that. And you see more Ganados here, so right there. Different kinds, of course. You do have different facial features, different hair types, beards, stuff like that, of course. This one looks like the ones that would in the original wear the green shirts. It's hard to tell, but it kind of does look a little bit like that. And of course, we see Ada. And this looks more like the castle as well. Like when Leon does meet her inside of the castle. It looks like a different room though. There is more windows to it, but you never really know, especially if they're redesigning the game. It could be the same exact kind of scene. And of course you know it's Ada. She's got the smug look right there, the black hair, the red shirt, and of course the holsters, stuff like that all over her, so you know it's Ada. Moving on, we do have the faithful Del Lago fight. Look at how small this boat looks compared to the Del Lago in this one. You could just see like his shadow underneath the water. Leon's just on the boat. It doesn't even look like he has harpoons on this boat. So the question is the Del Lago fight going to be the same, harpoons towards him, or is it going to be just your regular weapons that you're going to be using? Guess we're going to have to wait and see, but it doesn't look like there's any harpoons. They could have just taken that out, mostly for the cutscene, just like in the original, and then towards gameplay wise you'll have the harpoons, but I guess we'll have to wait and see for that as well. And as you guys can tell, if you look closely at Leon right there, the jacket's gone. Leon does lose the jacket in Resident Evil 4 Remake, just like he did in the original. It almost looks like he's passed out on the boat as well. It doesn't even look like he's awake, like he's sleeping. He could have just, rested for a second, or it could be that the Las Plagas started going into him and he crashed out on this boat. So, Moving on a little bit more, we do have our guy, the Big Cheese, right here. Now, this could either be a moment in the game where you go into his house and he stalks you for a little bit. It almost looks kind of like he's stalking you, almost like he has that Mr. X kind of vibe to him. Or it could be like the scene from the original where he picks up Leon, holds him by the neck, and tells him that he carries the same blood, and he throws him down and he enters his room, which could be that scene, because as you guys can tell right here, there's a doorway right there, which could be the door to his room, and it could be that he threw Leon over here and then he's about to enter back into his bedroom, and if you follow him, hopefully they have the same cutscene and Ada saves you. Don't know again for sure, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Moving on, you could see right here in this image Leon having the plaga going through his body. Now this could be, it looks more towards nighttime. He could be inside of a cabin with no candles lit or anything like that, but it looks like he's starting to have that after the Del Lago fight, when he's looking down his arms and he's having the nightmare and he screams and then wakes up at night. And then we see Ashley. You could tell it's Ashley with the blonde hair. Her eyes look absolutely amazing in these graphics. Like, just look at that. Like, you could tell the fear in the eyes. It's absolutely beautiful. And right here, if I can get a good shot of it, you can see, like I said, like the originals, these are the guys that wore the white shirts with the brown vests and has the hatchets for most of the time. Has the beard kind of like him, as well as, of course, you could see the vest. You could see the rolled up white sleeves, and you could tell he's attacking. They look absolutely amazing. Like, look at how amazing that looks. And the hatchets look amazing. Look at the way he's holding it, and he does attack. Ashley does scream in the initial trailer, and this right here looks like the reimagined church. You have the bell tower right here. You can kind of see where the bell would go. This looks towards the front door, where the front door would be with the church. You have like the windows looking out. Of course, you have your crows, and right up there you do have the little chicken thing that would spin around, especially on the original church. So that's really cool. And moving on, you have this new image. This is something we never saw in the original, but it looks kind of like a new emblem. It almost looks like the sacrificial bed that Ada gets taken to in separate ways inside of the cave that Leon eventually ends up in to get the yellow cat's eye when he's going to fight the Big Cheese inside of the cabin. And there's some blood pouring down, so this could be a little sacrifice that they're doing at some point that you accidentally walk into or you see from afar, anything like that. And these, like, this symbol is weird. It's kind of like four hands holding out. It looks almost like the Illuminatus symbol. The only difference is with the hands, and it looks almost like it's for a sacrifice for blood, like they're reaching out for it. Now, moving on, we have right here our first look at the dude, Osmond Sadler, and he looks faithful to the original. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see he has the robe, the purple robe right here with the yellow coming down. He's probably wearing the Illuminatus pendant right there around his neck. You can't really see his face, but he does have his Las Plagas staff that he walks around with. Can't really see too much. Again, it is pretty dark, and it was like for a glimpse right there, but let's see. Right there, you can see him a little bit better in this image. As a matter of fact, you can see the Las Plagas is coming out of his hand, kind of like he's giving it to someone. It could be Leon, Luis, Ashley, even Ada at this point. It could be anyone. You could see his eyes glowing. This time they're not glowing orange though. His is kind of glowing white, almost like with power. You could see a little bit better all of the robes around it. You can tell it's purple, and you can tell it does have the yellow right here. And you could kind of see his face, not too good, but you can see it slightly. And you see almost like how with the Resident Evil 3 remake, the little the tentacles that would come out of Nemesis, it almost kind of looks like that as well. You have like multiple of them too. It's not just one, because you have one here, one coming out of like the back part of the sleeve of his robe, and it just looks amazing. And Resident Evil 4, and again, just like the original font for the other remakes, Resident Evil 2 Remake and Resident Evil 3 Remake, you do have the same font, the R and the ER red, but this time with it, you do see kind of like branches inside of the logo to symbolize this is Resident Evil 4. You can see, you know, for the village. And moving on a little bit more, we get to the opening scene of Resident Evil 4. When Leon's in the car, his bomber jacket on, his fingerless gloves, his hair, and he's just sitting here in the car as they're driving past, and they're just going towards the village. And right here, the brand new picture of Ashley that Leon's going to be carrying around. You see his holster right there. You see his blue cargo pants like he had in the original. And this picture just looks absolutely amazing. And you can see a little bit more of Ashley's outfit here. You can see she has the yellow shirt here, the orange jacket on, this little bandana thing, and it just looks amazing. I cannot wait for this game to come out. And to finish it off, Leon probably entering the village. It could be any part of the village, but it looks like this is him entering the village for the first time. He's even holding his gun up, just like the original, and he's just walking in. Like, look at how beautiful that looks. You have the gun right there, his pants, his bomber jacket on, of course, his his black boots on, and this could be him entering the village. It does kind of look like the village a little bit when you look at it. Like, this is the beginning when he goes through the doorway and he's about to enter into the village from that other side that I showed you earlier. Or it could be later on where he's going towards Luis. It could be when he's going towards the Del Lago fight, and you have all those houses and you have the like marshlands kind of area with the snakes. You never know until the game comes out, but look at how beautiful this game looks. And of course, Resident Evil 4, March 24th, 2023, guys. So, with all of that being said, that's all I could really break down for the Resident Evil 4 remake as of right now. That is all we've gotten, and that's about as far as we can go until we get our next trailer, announcement, anything, leak, reveal, anything that they want to throw at us. So, thank you guys for watching. Again, absolutely love Resident Evil 4. The fact that they're remaking this, hopefully it stays faithful to the original. Hopefully. At least as faithful as they can have it, especially with a remake, because Resident Evil 4, like I said, #1 top tier favorite game ever made. It doesn't matter what game comes after, came before, favorite game ever made. It's just the way it is for me. And that's it for it. So, we will be playing some Resident Evil on the channel in order to celebrate Resident Evil 4 Remake coming out in March of next year. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and end the video right there. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Of course, let me know down below your thoughts on Resident Evil 4 Remake so far. Let me know if you guys are excited for it. Some theories, anything you guys want to share inside of the comment section, definitely let me know down below. And I will definitely let you guys know some more opinions, some more theories as time goes on. So, without further ado, goodbye, and remember to be timeless.